Have you ever wondered how a single faulty repair led to the deadliest single aircraft accident in history? Today, we delve into the mystery of Japan Airlines Flight 123. It was a typical summer day, August 12, 1985. The flight was packed with eager passengers, all aboard a Boeing 747 SR, one of the most trusted aircraft of its time. The crew, highly experienced, was ready for a routine journey. The flight conditions were near perfect as they took off from Haneda Airport in Tokyo. The passengers, a mix of holidaymakers, business people and families, were settling in for what they expected to be a smooth and uneventful flight. Little did they know that behind the scenes, a single faulty repair was about to set a tragic sequence of events into motion. Little did the passengers of Flight 123 know their routine travel would soon turn into a nightmare. As Flight 123 ascended, all seemed normal. But 12 minutes into the flight, catastrophe struck. Without warning, a sudden decompression occurred, tearing the rear bulkhead of the Boeing 747 and causing it to lose control. The pilots wrestled with the controls as the plane began a terrifying roller coaster ride through the sky. In the cockpit, the pilot and co-pilot worked feverishly to regain control of the aircraft. Their skilled hands moved with practiced precision, their eyes focused on the array of dials and screens before them. Yet, the plane remained stubbornly unresponsive, its steering system severely damaged by the decompression. In the midst of this chaos, the pilots managed to communicate with air traffic control. Their voices, though laced with urgency, maintained a level of calm that belied the severity of the situation. They reported the sudden loss of control, the catastrophic decompression, and their desperate attempts to steer the aircraft to safety. Air traffic control, on the other hand, scrambled to provide assistance. They directed the pilots towards the nearest airport, hoping against hope that the plane could be landed safely. Yet, the enormity of the situation was clear. Flight 123 was in dire straits, and the lives of over 500 passengers and crew members were hanging in the balance. Yet, despite the severity of the situation, the pilots managed to do the unthinkable. They kept the plane airborne for approximately 32 minutes after the decompression. 32 harrowing minutes of struggle, determination, and sheer willpower. 32 minutes that saw the pilots and crew of Flight 123 battling against the odds to save their passengers. And so, as the plane continued its terrifying journey through the sky, the world watched with bated breath. The fate of Flight 123 was uncertain, its future hanging by a thread. Would the pilots manage to land the plane safely, or would their valiant efforts be in vain? In those harrowing 32 minutes, the fate of Flight 123 hung in the balance. Despite their valiant efforts, the crew of Flight 123 could not avert disaster. On that fateful day, the Boeing 747 crashed into the formidable Mount Takamagahara, a disaster that sent shockwaves across the globe. In the immediate aftermath, a frantic rescue mission was launched. Rescue teams waded through the dense forest, scaling the rugged terrain of the mountain in a desperate race against time. The scene they encountered was one of devastation. The plane had been shattered into pieces, a grim testament to the force of the crash. Amidst the wreckage, they uncovered a miracle. 4 passengers had survived the disaster. Their survival amidst such odds was nothing short of miraculous, a beacon of hope in the midst of tragedy. The crash of Flight 123 was not just a national calamity for Japan, it reverberated around the world. The international community watched in stunned disbelief as the story unfolded. News channels were flooded with images of the crash site, the wreckage strewn across the mountainside, a haunting reminder of the lives lost. In Japan, the public reaction was one of profound shock and grief. The nation was plunged into mourning, the tragedy touching every corner of the country. People gathered at shrines and temples, offering prayers for the souls of the departed and seeking solace in their shared sorrow. The survivors were lauded as symbols of resilience and courage, their stories providing a glimmer of hope amidst the overwhelming sadness. The disaster also sparked a wave of deep introspection. Questions were asked about the safety measures in place, the preparation of the crew, and the overall aviation standards. It was a wake-up call for the aviation industry, a harsh reminder of the catastrophic consequences of any lapse in safety. In the wake of the crash, a nation and the world mourned. The loss of Flight 123 was a tragedy of immense proportions, a disaster that shook the world and left an indelible mark on the annals of aviation history. It was a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the courage of those who face adversity with bravery and resilience. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the question remained, what had caused Flight 123 to plummet from the sky? As the dust settled and the initial shock subsided, investigators began to delve deeper into the mystery. They pieced together a puzzle that spanned 7 years, tracing back to a seemingly insignificant repair. The revelation was both shocking and sobering. The aircraft had suffered a catastrophic decompression mid-flight, a direct result of a faulty repair job done 7 years prior. This seemingly minor oversight had cost hundreds of lives and shocked the world. But this tragic event did not go unnoticed. It became a catalyst for change, sparking a rigorous re-examination of aviation safety procedures and regulations worldwide. The lessons learned from the disaster of Flight 123 led to improved safety measures, stricter oversight, and an unwavering commitment to ensure such a tragedy would never occur again. The disaster of Flight 123, a chilling reminder of the cost of oversight, forever changed the course of aviation history.